You crack me up, Freddie.
Hey, Mike, it's ready for you, brother.
What's going on, everybody? It is the first episode of the Lockdown Coverage Podcast. Mike Tipton, Freddie Henderson hanging out with us. We got Blake. I'm trying to remember your last name, Blake. I can't get it on.
Blake Hickman, you're good.
Blake Hickman. Damn, I was so
Yes,
close.
first. No,
So
you're
close
good.
to
You're
getting
good.
all of them done right there. But hey, it is what it is. First episode. We're live over on YouTube. So thank you, everyone that is tuned in over there as well. Obviously, with the show, we're going to be doing a lot of talking about the NFL, as that is the hot topic of the week. I guess all of all the time, right, guys? Like the NFL always seems to be the number one topic that's always trending.
Oh yeah.
And we were so lucky. At least I feel like we were so lucky on Saturday and the first two games on Sunday, because those were amazing games. Sunday night, not so much. And then last night on Monday night, watching the Patriots just blow up the Chargers, that was not fun for me at all. Which one of those games did you all think was the most entertaining?
I'll let you go, Freddie, if you want to answer that first. I'll go
No,
with
I was
mine.
gonna let you go, Blake. I'm the guest. I'm the guest.
Okay, okay. I like the Green Bay and Chicago game. Honestly, uh, I got to see the cheeseheads come from a deficit and let Caleb Williams do his little icy thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I love I love Caleb Williams and the way he's got his offense under control when time of margin happens. Let's just say that when crunch time comes to play, I think he's down pat for it.
So I got to ask: are you a Bears fan, or like what is the team that you root for in the NFL?
Oh, I'm going Cowboys all the way.
Oh, there we
Cowboys.
go. Look at that. Two Cowboys fans.
Oh
Freddie, what
yeah.
about you? I got to know what your team is.
Oh, hold on. You mean to tell me I'm on a panel with two Cowboy fans?
Oh
So
yeah.
help me God. So help me
Oh yeah.
God. No. Um. Uh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to worry about covering them over the next few weeks because we know that the Cowboys are allergic to any type of success. We do know that. But no. I'm what you call an ABC fan. ABC fan. Anybody but the Cowboys. Anybody but the Cowboys. But I'm a
I
Giants
guess,
fan.
I guess I get it, and you're right. Like the Cowboys are not in the playoffs, so we don't need to be talking about the Cowboys.
No.
But it's just nice to see two Cowboys fans hanging out, having a good old time, talking about the NFL and the playoffs that the Cowboys will never ever be in any time right here. Renegade Rundown 24 saying, "Let's go Steelers." As a Steelers fan, we'll get to them in a minute. We will get to them in a minute because I think Blake's got some questions about them. Freddie, Blake liked the Bears and Packers game, and it was a ton of fun watching the Bears come back from down 18 points. What was the game that you said, man, this right here, this is the game that I was interested in?
Well, for me, it had to be the Los Angeles Rams. I'm a LA native, born in Los Angeles. So I'm gonna tell you, everybody know on the West Coast that this year the Rams have been hot. Matthew Stafford has been having an MVP type season. Puka is one of the best wideouts in football. You had Devontae Adams. Hey, he don't hurt anything. He definitely helps, but we do know he's been out a few weeks due to injury. We also know the Rams have had a really good defense this year as well. But we do know, hey, the playoffs. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. It's all about what are you going to do when the opening comes for the playoffs. Because hey, when you hit the playoffs, you're zeros. You're 0-0. Your record don't matter anymore in the playoffs that it do in the regular season. So you're 0-0. The Rams have been struggling. They struggled. They lost to the same Carolina team a few weeks ago. And I understand you didn't have no Devontae Adams. I understand you was missing a couple of guys, but still, you lost. And I was sitting there watching this Rams game. I'm like, okay, we taking care of it. We like 17-10 or 17-3 or something like that. I said, okay, we're taking care of business. And then and when the Panthers they go marching down, they made it out of a game. They made it out of a game. You could tell you could see that people got uncomfortable. You could see people got their butt side got tight. They started palms got sweaty. You understand pressure started to rise. But hey, at the end of the day, Matthew Stafford showed and proved that he is exactly who he is. This is something that he's done since he was in Detroit. This is something that we are accustomed to seeing him doing, to step up in clutch moments, and he made big plays to win the game.
And that's one of the games that I really had my eyes on as well, because I think it was a bad matchup for the LA Rams, because the Carolina Panthers, like, that's a run first team. And I think if the Rams have a weakness on defense, it's stopping the run. So watching the Rams being able to get by that, plus that weather out there in Carolina, how bad for the Rams. You have back-to-back rainy games in North Carolina. I was stationed out there for 3 years, and I don't think it rained as much as what I saw in both of those games against the Rams and the Panthers out over there. But it was awesome to see the Panthers pull that game out. Now, y'all already know that I've admitted, unfortunately, that I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan on this podcast. The game I had my eyes on, and the game where I hoped an asteroid would hit Earth, was the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles.
I knew you were going there.
I'm older, right? I'm 41 years old. Wow, about to be 42 years old. And I remember those 49ers Cowboys matchups from back in the 90s. Blake, you look way too young to remember that. So I have to do history for you. You don't get to watch that in 1080p. You got to go find the VHSs of
Hopefully
those.
it's coming soon, though. It's a long awaiting trial.
But that like,
hey, I want to say something real quick. I want to say something real quick, Mike. Hey, you can't get on my brother Blake for him being young, because there's a lot of you guys that's older. Y'all have forgotten how relevant the Cowboys have been, because it's been 30 years. It's been 30 years. It's been that long. Brother, I'm 28 years old. I wasn't even alive.
I mean, you could say irrelevant, but I mean, the most valuable franchise in sports, they always lead on SportsCenter. I can't say that's irrelevant. Like, that's...
Tell him again.
Say thank you to Jerry Jones for that. He does a great job marketing you guys.
The greatest owner in sports, but also the worst human being I think there is that could run a franchise. But nonetheless, I'm watching this Philadelphia Eagles game, and you can tell going into the playoffs, they weren't a playoff caliber team. And I was so disappointed by that, because at the beginning of the season, I said that Philadelphia, to me, would be the team that you could kind of count on. I thought they were going to go back-to-back. I thought that they would at least make it to the NFC Championship game, if not beyond. And then watching that team fall apart the way that team fell apart, I know everyone wants to blame Kevin Patullo, who just got fired today. But there's so much more to that team, right? Like, A.J. Brown was not happy. It seems like last year they won not because of Nick Sirianni, but in spite of Nick Sirianni. And it makes me wonder, what more do the Eagles have to do to get back to where they want to be? Because right now, the way the team is constructed, even with Kevin Patullo being gone, I still don't think they're a championship contending team.
Man, this is something we've seen all year. There's been this Philadelphia Eagles team have had so many problems this year. They just did not look like the same team that won a Super Bowl a year before last year. And hey, guys, this proves that it is not easy to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. It is not easy. It is not easy. You see this much drop off. You have confusion on the offensive side of the ball. Saquon Barkley did not have that Saquon Barkley season that he had the year before last, if we're being honest as well. I mean, he looked a shell of himself. You sit up there like, man, what's going on with Saquon? What's going on with Saquon? A.J. Brown has been that's been a whole nother situation. I think it's safe to say that he done worked himself outside of Philadelphia, that he'll be traded. The offensive coordinator will not be the only one out. A.J. Brown will be out as well because of the antics. Him and Sirianni get into it in the playoff game on the sideline. It's just a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion going on. The team is not connected. Jalen Hurts, I hate that this brother got to play in Philadelphia. He's in the worst market if there was ever to be a market in, because Jalen Hurts is a winner. He is a winner. This man get criticized more than any other quarterback in the NFL. Get criticized more, and he's won. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, this dude. But good God Almighty, could you give us more than 75 yards and a half? Could you make more? Could you produce more? Could you?
I'm gonna go with y'all on that one too. I like Michael's answer and Freddie's answer too. But the Philadelphia regressed all season, and they ended up with a 24th total offense and 19th in scoring. that's hard to come by. Like I was telling y'all earlier, in the playoffs, you need your team to, take up in clutch time. That's like clutch moments. If it comes down 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you're trying to rock and roll with your offense and you can't get it going, there's just something like Freddie was saying, earlier when A.J. Brown and the head coach got into an argument. I don't really keep up with Philadelphia, but I know, everybody knows Nick Sirianni and stuff like that. But anyway, I think that really costed them the game, especially when it came down to it and everything. But also, you got to look at in the direction that Pittsburgh Steelers lost 30-6 against the Texans. That was another, that tied for the, let's see, that marks their 7th straight playoff loss, tying an NFL record for consecutive postseason defeats by a head coach. That's another, I think, and both ended up losing 2 coaches that are going to end up being replaced next year. So, I mean, that just shows you right there. That's one. Now, those 2 for sure are one of the true disappointments of the wild card weekend.
Are they? Are they though?
I
Are
mean,
they?
I think we all could have saw that Pittsburgh was going to wind up losing. Like maybe Philadelphia, you could say is a disappointment, but Pittsburgh limping in at the end of the season, I could
have way rather see the Ravens.
The AFC North was going to be bad.
I think the Ravens would have probably tried to at least do a whole lot better than what the Steelers gave, I believe.
Listen. I mean, are we sure? The Steelers finished this year in the regular season, ladies and gentlemen, with 5,196 total offense. Guess what that ranked them, Blake? 25th. 25th. They averaged 23 points per game. That's about 15th in the league. Yards per game, 316. That ranks 25th in the league. This is what you call a middle of a pack team. This is a team that leaned on their defense. This is a team that needed a defense to carry. And I'm the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan you ever found.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's one of the baddest to the baddest man alive. We've seen him do something the Cowboys can't do. He went to the AT&T Stadium, won a Super Bowl in Dallas, ladies and gentlemen. But we're not talking about that. But all I'm saying is that this dude, he's 42 years old. It's so much that he can do. He's not the old Aaron Rodgers of old, because the old Aaron Rodgers of old, he would have ran the ball more. He would have used his athletic ability to create some plays. And let's just be honest, this Pittsburgh Steelers team is not built to win. Yeah, you have DK. Yeah, you have Thielen. I mean, Adam Thielen is not the sprung chicken of old. You have VS Vatland Scantlin, however you say his name. I mean, but he does not. He's not. To be the age of 42, you need to have a really good offensive line. And I got to give Pittsburgh credit. The offensive line protected him this year. He only took like 28 sacks for the season, so that's pretty good. But you do need some wideouts on the outside, and you need a running game. And Pittsburgh's defense was a disappointment this year. That defense is supposed to be much better. I get a credit where the defense did show up on Monday night, though. Their defense, when you have C.J. Stroud fumbling the football 2 or 3 times a game, you get an interception, just give me one touchdown. Just get one touchdown that changes the direction of that game. I guarantee you. But they was not able to get the touchdown.
Blake, Freddie, and Mike hanging out with you here on the Lockdown Coverage Podcast. I see a couple of my people in here in the comment section. Augustine Pimentel, Tommy Carranza, 915. Guys, this is a new network that Freddie is launching right here. It's called Prime Coverage Sports Network. Go over to YouTube, give them a like, subscribe, check them out on Facebook as well. It's going to be awesome watching what Freddie and the crew does, helping grow this network, doing all the coverage, doing all that stuff. Now, on the flip side of watching the Pittsburgh Steelers just absolutely implode is watching that Houston Texans defense absolutely dominate that game. Mm-hmm. This Houston Texans team, I didn't think was going to be as good as they are. I had predicted at the beginning of the season that Jacksonville would win the division. Houston would take a step back. One game separated them. Houston looks the way that they're built right now that this can be a legitimate Super Bowl contending team. Well, what do you all think about that?
Hey, Mike, I absolutely agree. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Freddie.
I absolutely agree, man. This is what Texans. I think they've been like a dark horse team all year. They've been they started slow at the beginning of the season, but they caught speed and they've kind of been just going behind the radar. And yes, CJ Stroud is CJ Stroud, but it's really been this defense. This defense has been elite all year. We give credit to the Seattle Seahawks, which they deserve. They deserve it. But this Texans defense have done something special. Last night we seen something when they hit. Normally, you see receivers able to break loose and get some yardage. No, when they hit, they hit. You do not get no yards after catch. Right now, they in the season they allowed the second fewest points allowed, which is 17 points a game. If you're holding teams to 17 points a game, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty remarkable. Top 5 overall defense yards allowed. I mean, they're number 1 in yards allowed per opponent amongst NFL teams. I mean, they just done a lot. This defense is elite, one of the best defenses. Defense have carried them, and let's just be honest. That yesterday was the true definition of a Pittsburgh Steelers type game. That was the game that they loved, but they did not have the support on the offensive side to carry them over in that fourth quarter like they normally do to produce on the offensive side because of this Texans defense. They was chasing Rodgers down. They definitely made Rodgers uncomfortable in the pocket. They was not able to get a running game down. They shut every part of the game. And guess what? D'Amico Ryan was going against one of the all-time greats in Aaron Rodgers, who knew the defense. He knew it was coming, and he couldn't stop it.
Yeah, I kind of got to go with Freddie on that one. I like Texans being a contender, maybe not a serious contender. I know that D'Amico Ryan, he's a past defensive player for the Texans and then ended up getting traded and stuff like that. But I think they have a serious defense. I like their offense. I think it could improve. You know, it needs to be a little bit better than what I think that the Texans can do. I like the Texans a lot. I watched them pretty good bit this during the regular season, but none of that matters. It's like this whole week, we've seen teams come back, beat a better team. I think the Green Bay Packers could have done a whole lot better. They could have been an easy contender. Not necessarily saying the matchup was the problem, but I feel like the Bears gave them a good run for their money at the very end of the game when it came down to who really wants this, who doesn't want this. But I got to say the Bears. I got to go with the Bears as a real NFC contender. I mean, that's probably the closest matchup to the Seattle Seahawks that you can get. Maybe the Rams. Hold on, Freddie. The Rams are looking good too. I like the Rams for the NFC East too. Matthew Stafford, one of my favorite quarterbacks as well. I like Puka Nacua. I like their offense and what their offense is doing too. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. If Caleb Williams can do what he did and more against the who are they playing this week? They're playing the Rams. Huh. Yeah, we'll see. But
Let me ask you this question, bro.
Ask me it. I'll answer it.
If Micah Parsons was on the other side, would that have made some things uncomfortable for Caleb Williams? I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Green Bay had no pass rushers. You got to remember they let the defensive tackle go to go to the Cowboys. I can't think of his name. You already lost one.
Kenny Clark.
Yeah, Kenny Clark. You already lost one. Now Michael Parsons down with injury. So Caleb Williams, he can sit back there, eat a donut. Oh, my bad. We're in Chicago. What does Chicago eat? They eat hot dogs. So he can sit back there and eat a hot dog, call his girlfriend, paint his fingernails. Oh, yeah. He could have done all those things. He didn't have to worry about nothing. He was comfortable. So that's not going to be the situation when it comes to the Rams. When the Rams come, that defensive line will come after Caleb Williams. He's going to have to use them legs. He's going to have to make plays. You're going to worry about Nuke. You're going to worry about the
hold on. You could also say the same thing about the Steelers and Texans game. I mean, C.J. Stroud he had 5 fumbles, but I still feel like he was too comfortable in the pocket. That's what I feel like.
C.J. No, he was no. You could tell that he was.
I feel like he was way too comfortable.
He was shook, brother. Did you see him? He did not look like himself. He's never fumbled the football this year, and he had 2 in one game.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, going back to like the Rams and the Bears, which is going to be the matchup this upcoming week. The Bears kind of do what the Rams' weakness is, right? This is a run-first team, and Caleb Williams is one of those quarterbacks that can get out of the pocket and can make magic happen. We've seen Caleb Williams is so good out of the pocket, like being able to move him around, do all those things. He's so good. And if the Bears are able to establish the run with Swift and Monungai and all them, they're going to be able to cause problems for the Rams. But like I agree with you, Freddie. Like I like the Rams defense if they're actually right. But we saw against the Carolina Panthers, they're not as good as what I think we all thought they were going to be coming into the season. You know what I mean? Like I think we thought that the Rams but like we saw if Matt Stafford was healthy, we thought this was going to be a team that would run away with the NFC. And we thought that, halfway through the season. Then the season started catching up to them, and they looked very mediocre coming to the end. I can see a scenario where the Bears dog walk them just because they run the ball down the field. I think you're muted.
My bad. I'm up here talking. Let's welcome my buddy Dustin to the panel. What's up, Dustin? How you doing, brother?
Not bad, Freddie. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's your reaction to the Rams going into Chicago this upcoming Sunday night? What's your reaction? What's your thoughts? And what's your predictions?
If you look at how the weather is supposed to be, it's definitely going to favor the Bears. Game time temperatures right now are supposed to be around 14 with a single-digit wind chill, and we all know how well Matthew Stafford performs in cold weather. The Rams are 1-14 in games when it's below 40 degrees. Sean McVay is 1-8 in those games. Sean McVay has also never won at Soldier Field. So there's a lot of signs that are going against the Rams on Sunday. The Rams, I do believe, have the better team. I think the Rams are the more talented team, and I do believe they have the better coach. But just the weather conditions itself just do not favor the Rams. And we see this all the time in the playoffs with the Rams or with the Bucs or a lot of these teams that are used to warm weather games. The moment they get that first, frigidly cold game, it's like they forget how to play football.
And to piggyback on that, we saw, again, the way they struggled against Carolina the first game, the way they struggled against Carolina in the playoffs. Weather played a factor in those games. It's going to be cold in Chicago because it's always cold in Chicago. That's going to be a major issue for the LA Rams, who play in that nice dome, that beautiful dome over there in SoFi Stadium. Now they get to be out in the elements in arguably one of the most notorious home field advantage type stadiums, because that lake effect in Chicago is a real thing. It's
Soldier Field's all about it, dude. I'm telling you, they showed up and showed out against the Packers too. It was there, and especially in the fourth quarter, like I was saying, when it was crunch time in those moments, the fans went off, which supported their team, and everything just laid down one by another. So they had every kind of support and every kind of situation that you can imagine.
The other big advantage that the Bears have too that nobody talks about is the playing surface that the Bears play on. The Bears play on natural grass. The Rams have not played on a natural grass field since week 7.
And I want to piggyback off what Justin David Kish put in the comments. He said Matthew Stafford is familiar with the weather, so is Adams. So I think that is a connection to watch. And ladies and gentlemen, let's just be honest. Like I said, Devontae Adams missed a few weeks due to injury. Last week, he dropped a lot of passes that Devontae Adams normally do not drop. I expect him to have a bounce back game. I hope he have a bounce back game because he's definitely going to be needed in a game like this. because you cannot put too much on Puka, however you say his name, because we know that he's elite and he's the number one. But if you have Devontae Adams rolling, it just makes it a lot easier for him, and it makes it hard to stop a team like the Los Angeles Rams, especially going into the weather conditions, the field conditions that you guys pointed out that they have to be clicking on all ends. But this defense have to step up because last week the defense was a no-show until the fourth quarter, really until when it's time to get a stop at the end. That's really whenever they stepped up. But the defense was definitely a shell of itself. They need to step up and make it uncomfortable for Caleb Williams. Because if you have Caleb Williams sitting in the pocket, if you have him painting his fingernails, eating a deep dish pizza, eating a hot dog, you're in trouble. This dude has shown that he is one of the elite quarterbacks in his league. Ben Johnson has been a great tool, a great asset for him to have. I bet you Detroit wish they had Ben Johnson still. But hey, him and his Caleb Williams connection, they're spot on. And hey, things are getting very interesting in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen.
So just to recap real quick, we have some scores to go over from the weekend. The Rams beat the Panthers 34-31. The Bears beat the Packers 31-27. Buffalo beats Jacksonville 27-24. San Francisco with a 23-19 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a gross game to watch. Nobody should have watched that game at all. The New England Patriots with a 16-3 win over the Chargers. The Chargers, I'm surprised no one's brought up the Chargers as a major disappointment. And then the Houston Texans defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Out of all those games, which one are we saying is the team that disappointed us the most?
The Jaguars. The Jaguars.
What?
100%. Brother.
Nobody came to this season thinking the Jaguars were going to be in the playoffs.
Brother, this is not the same Buffalo Bill team of old. This is not the same team that had these weapons around Josh Allen. And I understand there's no Patrick Mahomes, there's no Lamar Jackson, there's no Joe Burrow. I understand all that. But Trevor Lawrence was what? Guess what? He was the number one pick a few years ago. He was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the next face. We have not seen that. This year, we've finally seen a pulse of Trevor Lawrence. We're like, oh, he's alive. Thank God he's alive. He has the pulse. He has the pulse. We've seen this Jacksonville Jaguar team do some big things. We have. But the pressure is on him because wow, we're seeing these young quarterbacks elevate themselves. We just got done talking about Caleb Williams. Look what he's doing. Look at Drake May down there in New England. Look what he's doing. We're seeing these young quarterbacks coming in, making an impact fast, and we're finally seeing Trevor Lawrence have an impact. I understand he's playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand all that, but still, can we see something? Can we see something? Why it took this long? I mean, good Lord Almighty.
What about you, Blake? Which one is your most disappointing team of the playoffs so far?
Man. I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, there's a couple key games. I don't know. As far as I think the Philadelphia, like you were talking about, came in, lost to the 49ers. I feel like that's one of a key loss, especially coming off of going to the Super Bowl last year. And then getting through the NFC East really isn't a tough battle. It's really not. I mean, you got the Cowboys, Washington Redskins. That's easy for the Philadelphia Eagles. That was an easy win this year. The Giants were just figuring it out with Jackson Dart. I feel like they're going to do pretty good next year. We're not going to go in that route right now, but I feel like Philadelphia Eagles will be my number one disappointment. I feel like being a Cowboys fan, I think that says a lot, but I mean, they just couldn't get it going on offense. They looked like they were a dysfunctional NFL football team out there trying to get clicks just to make ends meet before the game was over and the clock hit 0. That's what I think. But you did see that all year, though, with the Eagles, so I couldn't necessarily say that as my number one disappointment.
Yeah, the Eagles played a lot of tough games. They also won a bunch of games they probably shouldn't have won. They were a team that was kissed by luck throughout the season. but that luck ran out, as we saw here in the playoffs against the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, my luck that I was hoping for, an asteroid hitting Earth because I didn't want to watch that game at all, did not happen. So take my advice for whatever it is. What about you, Dustin? Who was your biggest disappointment of the playoffs so far?
Surprisingly, it was, I think, just the way the Patriots played. I thought the Patriots were going to kind of go out and kind of prove something in that game, showing that because a lot of teams have been giving the Patriots crap based on their record because they haven't beaten really any good teams with a winning record. So I thought going into that game against the Chargers, going into a battered Chargers team, they would use it as kind of a statement game. They'd be like, hey, we've arrived. Like, we are here to contend for a Super Bowl. And after watching that performance, they're still, I think, a little bit of ways away from getting to the Super Bowl just because they are still missing some pieces. They didn't wow me that much out of all the teams. Even the Chargers. Like, the Chargers gave the Patriots a bigger problem than I thought they would. I thought it was going to be another classic Justin Herbert 4-interception playoff game. He didn't play well, but he certainly didn't play terrible. It's just the Chargers don't have the horses right now to keep up with anybody.
I think what also caused the Patriots to have their problems is that Chargers defense is really good. Like, that's been one of the hallmarks of them over the last couple of years, is that they've got a really, really good defense. I agree with you though, right? Like, I like what they're building in New England, but you saw in that game they're not quite there just yet. And I think they're going to be one of those teams that ultimately, kind of like what Washington did this year, right? Like, they have the possibility of making a deep playoff run, getting to the AFC Championship game, and then losing, and then next year just being absolutely terrible, right? Like, it all depends on Drake May and everything that he's got going on here. Now, on the flip side of that coin, and Dustin, we'll start with you on this one. What was the team that impressed you the most with all those wins?
Honestly, the Bears. Just the way they keep winning. And third time in 3 games against the Packers dominated them the first half until basically the fourth quarter. Everyone keeps saying that the Bears can't keep winning the way they're winning. They have 12 wins this year. 10 wins have basically been coming from behind in the fourth quarter because for whatever reason, Ben Johnson makes the adjustments he needs to make in the fourth quarter. And if the Bears proved anything, no lead is safe against this team. Regardless of the opponent they are facing, you could be up by 3 scores at halftime. That lead is not going to be safe until that clock hits 4 zeros at the end of the game.
Freddie, what's your team? The most surprising team so far?
The most surprising team, it got to be the San Francisco 49ers. And the reason why I say that, even though Philadelphia have all their little issues they have, but the San Fran team is dealing with a lot of injuries. Wide receiver banged up, middle linebacker banged up, no Bosa. I mean, it just, shoot, even going into the game, your tight end Kittle, he gets hurt. So with them to able to even, you would have thought Philadelphia had all those injuries, but no. Guess what? Kyle Shanahan still showed that he's Kyle Shanahan, and it's more about the system. The players play the system. Hey, everything will be okay. So that's my team. I thought even through all the little functional things that Philadelphia is going through, they were still able to pull it off just due because San Francisco was dealing with a whole bunch of injuries.
And Blake, we'll toss it over to you. Which team was the most surprising to you so far?
I got to go with my boy Dustin on this one. I think the Bears came in. They didn't have it. You could tell the first half they really didn't have it all together, and they came back, and it actually shows that comeback is tied for one of the largest in playoff history. So I mean that just shows a lot. I mean they might not have had it defensively wise in the first half, but when it came down to crunch time, those margins, those tough margins that teams don't necessarily hit when it's time to hit, I think the Bears really did improve on that, and that's underdog status. And going into the playoffs where regular season doesn't matter, just your team winning in crunch times and those margins, those tough margins to meet. I think that to me is very impressive, and like I just said, that's quote unquote underdog status in the playoffs, especially with the way the NFC's looking now.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, you still have Seattle that hasn't played. They're playing at home. Then you have Denver coming in. playing at home too. So that's going to be those games. Bills, Broncos. That's going to be a very good game. I don't underestimate my dog Bo Nix because that dude will rocket that ship. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the Chicago Bears on this one.
We got Blake, Dustin, Freddie, and Mike hanging out with you here on the Lockdown Coverage Podcast on the Prime Coverage Sports Network. Make sure you're going over to YouTube, like, subscribe, follow on Facebook, follow on all the different social media platforms. One of these days I'll learn them all, but I'm very terrible at reading, so I'm not going to read them off right now. We've been talking about the playoffs so far. We spoke about the wild card. Enough living in the past like typical Dallas Cowboys fans do. Let's look forward to the future now. We have the first game coming up on January 17th at 2:30. The Buffalo Bills are taking on the number 1 seed Denver Broncos. Buffalo, though, a team that has been injured basically all season long, gets another injury. Wide receiver Terrell Shavers is going to be out with an ACL injury, torn ACL, done for the season. Another weapon Josh Allen does not have. Can the Bills pull off this miracle, Freddie?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I was surprised that
you said that was so much more confidence than I was expecting anybody to say.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, I agree with Justin. The Broncos are the most beatable team. You know, for number one. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, and there's no disrespect, but can somebody tell me who the Broncos beating this year? Can somebody tell me who they beating this year? I mean, yeah,
the only team you can say is the Packers when they had Parsons, but then Parsons got hurt in that game.
Yeah, so I mean, competition do matter. They have a relevant defense, but I mean, I hate to say it, they're great. They had a great year. What Sean Payton was able to do with a quick turnaround, getting off the dead money of the Russell Wilson's money, turning his team into what they are, hey, that's good. But Josh Allen is going to show the world why he is the best quarterback in the playoffs. He's going to show you why that hey, he's going to take advantage that there's no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, none of those guys. He's going to put some guys on his back. He's going to say, hey, follow me. I'm taking you over to the promised land. Let's go. Let's ride.
Freddie is going with the Buffalo Bills very confidently over the Denver Broncos. Blake, do you agree with Freddie or do you agree with Augustine, who says the Bills are going to get shellacked?
Like Freddie was saying, statistically, the regular season shows that the Broncos haven't played anybody. I will agree with Freddie on that. Go ahead, Dustin.
I'm kind of like, this is kind of why I didn't think the Jaguars were the biggest disappointment this weekend. It's because this is the first time in Josh Allen's career where he's going into the playoffs with no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, and no Patrick Mahomes. In my mindset, when the playoffs started, it was basically if Josh Allen does not get to the Super Bowl this year without those 3 quarterbacks in the playoffs, you're going to start questioning if he will ever get there. And that's kind of why I'm going to be riding with Buffalo the entire way for the AFC, just because if he's going to get to the Super Bowl, this is his chance to do that. When you look at the quarterbacks he's not going to have to go through.
I've said it time and time again that I think the Buffalo Bills have the most pressure on them out of any of the teams that are in the playoffs right now. Josh Allen has that, that specter looming over him of you've never done this, and the road to the Super Bowl for Josh Allen will never be easier than what's in front of him right now. Obviously, there's going to be the naysayers out there that are like, oh, he didn't beat Mahomes, he didn't beat Burrow, he didn't beat Jackson, whatever. You play the games that are in front of you, right? That's all you got to do. Same thing with the Denver Broncos. You play the games that are in front of you, you get to where you got to be. All right, Blake, are we good? I saw you looked over off screen, you look scared. Okay, let's go to Freddie first. What you got, Freddie?
This is the definition of the Broncos season. They rank 14th on the offensive side of the ball. 14th. That's 23 points per game. They rank number 3 points allowed. They only allow 18 points per game. So it shows you where the bread and butter is. It's not on the offense. It's on the defense. Their offense, okay, yeah, our offense, we're not going to win you no games, but we're not going to lose you no games. We'll be a middle of the pack on the offense, but we're going to be an elite defense. So, hey, all the Bills have to do, score more than 18 points. And he got it.
I'll go ahead and finish my answer. Sorry about that. The Bills and Broncos game is going to come down to QB controls the tempo. Which QB is going to come out and control it at the very beginning? Which QB is going to just go out there and just show out? Then, as well as the Bills defense can limit early chunk plays that allows the Broncos to be successful on those chunk moments. Like you've seen it against the Cowboys this year. Michael, I know you remember that game. So those chunk plays can add up a lot through, early limitations that your defense will allow. I think honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Freddie on this one. I do see the Bills coming out on top. I really do. I like Bo Nix. I like what he's got going on. That's the same way with Drake May. Do you really know if Drake May is going to be that type of QB in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can't really necessarily go with a rookie QB in those crunch moments. You haven't seen it. So, I can't necessarily say yes, but Lord forbid if, I get proved wrong, so be it. But I'm going to have to go with the experienced QB in this moment. Would you go with, Tom Brady versus Bo Nix? Who would you pick?
I would take Tom Brady right now over Bo Nix, and Tom Brady ain't suited up in a while.
I would take Tom Brady almost over the whole field right now.
So, but you got to understand where, like Freddie's talking about, where the Buffalo Bills are coming from. They've lost to the Ravens. They've lost to the Chiefs. They've lost to, those big-time AFC Championship teams. I think this is Josh Allen's playoff time to prove. This is like what Stephen A. said, too. He even said it on his. I think Josh Allen can very much prove himself in this playoff with no Mahomes, no Jackson, no Burrow, no none of that. You don't have none of that in front of you. You just have your team, and you just got to play football.
I want to know who Justin's team is, because the hate he's spewing at the Denver Broncos today makes me feel like he's got to be a Chiefs fan or a Charger. Like, he's got to be a fan of a team in the AFC West. God forbid he's a Raiders fan, because if that's the case, you got no need to talk about anybody's team whatsoever. Yeah. Okay, so I agree with y'all, right? Like, Bo Nix, to me, all season long has not put together a complete game. We just haven't seen that. He's pulled out some magic in the third and fourth quarters, and I don't think Buffalo is going to allow the Broncos to be able to pull that off. So I think all four of us are going with the Buffalo Bills. That terrifies me, because anytime you see a whole group of people think one team's going to win, that means that team's more than likely going to lose. So hopefully it works out for us. Now, what I think is going to be
one more thing to hit, though, too. You're going into Mile High Stadium, too, in Denver. So that's just like, home field advantage can take over real quick.
I don't think there's much of a home field advantage whenever you got Buffalo, who's probably colder than Denver is. You're going from one cold place to another cold place. So I used to live in Alaska, and then I moved to Connecticut. Both of them were cold. I couldn't feel the difference in cold. Both of them were cold. That's why I moved my happy self back to the desert in Texas. We are not dealing with the cold anymore. Cold is cold no matter where you are. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I think is going to be the most fun game of the weekend, also on Saturday, the number 1 Seattle Seahawks versus the number 6 San Francisco 49ers. That's going to be, I think, an old school slobber knocker of a game.
Is this Steve's call?
Justin, we're going to start with you here. Who do you have in this game?
If George Kittle did not get hurt, I would probably pick San Francisco. But now that Kittle's out, that's going to limit San Francisco's offense even more. And Seattle's defense is legit. Like, that's what's carried them and helped play the big role in why they got the number 1 seed. And Sam Darnold's already gotten the monkey off of his back that he can't win a big game, because I think he realized this year he does not have to play hero ball. And he has a defense that can bail him out. And as long as he's a game manager, Seattle's going to win. I think Seattle wins in overtime by a field goal.
Blake, what's your thoughts?
I got to go with the Seahawks on this one. Honestly, I don't know. It's hard not to, just because I mean I don't really like the 49ers, but I do like what they have brought to this year. I mean, they did beat the team that I highly disguise as one of the. I can't stand the Eagles, so I'm just glad that they're out of the playoff, honestly. But with looking at that game, and then you got coming into Seattle, and Seattle taking over home field advantage. That was shown when they did play last in the playoffs. It might not have shown, that well, but I do believe the Seahawks can pull this one off. I really do. I feel like they can go and get a NFC championship, match up with another good contender too. So I think they got the offense, they got the defense, they have just everything in between to match them up with, basically anybody in the NFC East. So I think that's going to be a good game to watch, like it always has been when the 49ers and Seahawks play. So I think that's going to be a good game. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks on that one.
Freddie, who you got in this game, Seattle or San Francisco?
Man, I'm going with experience here, guys. I'm going with Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers. They're 1-1 this year, guys. In both games was not a high-scoring game. So I understand you, George Kittle. I understand it. Just I do. I really do. But neither game was a high-scoring game. I understand Seattle have a really good defense. They really do. They are elite. They are. Their defense is the reason they're in the position they're in now. But I'm going with experience. We're going against a coach and Mike McDaniel. Okay. I mean, he was the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. That's it. But we're talking about a Kyle Shanahan who's been in this position before many of times, that have won big games. He lost them too, but he have won some big games as well. I'm going with experience. Like I said, it's not about the players with San Francisco. It's the system. And I believe the system will get them to win. I believe Purdy will show the people why that he is in the position that he's in now. The reason why they don't have Trey Lance, the reason why they got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, that he's the guy down there now in San Fran. Christian McCaffrey, we seen him down there in Philadelphia, playing Philadelphia Eagles. We seen him. We see what Christian McCaffrey did. So I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. It would not be a high-scoring game, but it will definitely come in a clutch moment. It'll come in right at the tail end, and they'll win the game.
I think it's going to be a weird one. It's going to be a tough one for the San Francisco 49ers. Like, I don't know what team to root for here. I don't have any ill will towards the Seattle Seahawks. They're the Seattle Seahawks. It's Sam Darnold. You got to give the man his flowers. One of 5 quarterbacks to win 13 games in back-to-back seasons, joining Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and now Sam Darnold. All those names just go together, right? Like, everyone thinks about those are the greatest quarterbacks of all time and Sam Darnold. But I cannot force myself to root for the San Francisco 49ers. So again, I just hope both teams go out there and have fun, and one of them loses. And I hope that team that loses is the San Francisco 49ers. But I don't want to say that I trust Seattle right now. I just don't, because Sam Darnold's got to prove something to, I think, all of us. You want to continue, or you want us to stop calling you a Lego fireman? Like, you look like a Lego fireman. Win a couple of playoff games. Prove everybody wrong. All right.
Right.
The Bears.
But I do think it's going to be a classic ground and pound defense game. Like, even before, you take every look at the 49ers versus Seattle. It's a defensive game.
It's gonna be chippy too. It's gonna be like your classic
especially they're coming to crunch time. This is whoever wins goes to the NFC Championship. So they've both been in this same spot before, and I understand where Freddie's going. Kyle Shanahan is experienced, but sometimes those people get proved wrong, and I think Freddie's going to get proved wrong this weekend.
Nah, hey, just watch. I'm gonna be sitting back there like, I told you so.
All right, so the Bears and the Rams. We kind of hinted on this a little bit earlier. Dustin, who do you got in this game? Caleb Williams and them boys, or are you going with the Matt Stafford led LA Rams?
If you look at all the quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs, who at this point would you trust with the game on the line and 2 minutes left in the game? Honestly, you'd have to say Caleb Williams based on what he's done this year. Like, yes, Stafford has more game-winning drives because the guy's played 17 years longer than Caleb Williams.
That was a curveball I was not expecting.
But look at how Caleb Williams has played in the fourth quarter. He is the highest-rated quarterback in the NFL this season in the fourth quarter. He has 15 touchdown passes to 1 interception in the fourth quarter this year. And he's got a quarterback rating of 158.3. Like, when the game is on the line and it is in crunch time, Caleb Williams has shown up and has looked like an MVP in the fourth quarter. It's the other 3 quarters where he doesn't look like a very good quarterback at all. I just think right now the Bears are playing with house money, and they have really nothing to lose at this point because no one expected them to not only be in the playoffs this year, no one expected them to be in the position they are in right now. And I think they get one more win in the playoffs. I'm going Bears over the Rams.
Blake, who you got here, Bears or Rams?
The Bears versus rivalry game has been played 97 times, including 2 postseason games, with the Chicago Bears winning 55 games and the Los Angeles Rams winning 39 games. They have also tied 3 games. Chicago Bears lead the series 55 wins, 39 losses, and 3 ties. That's what the Bears show. The last time they played was it looks like 9/29/2024, and the Los Angeles Rams lost at home to the Chicago Bears. No, Chicago Bears won at home against the Los Angeles Rams. So but Caleb Williams wasn't also. I can't remember if he was. He was playing, I think, then. Pretty sure. So I don't know. Like what Dustin said, but I also want to take sides to this. There's very few generational QBs left that are from my era. Matthew Stafford is one of them. You got to give credit where credit's due. You know, I feel like I want Matthew Stafford to go win. I do, but at the same time, I just feel like it's gonna be hard to beat the Bears, especially the way that they looked in the fourth quarter with less than 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. In those margins, I have to go with the Bears on this one. Sorry, Matthew Stafford, I don't care, but I have to go with the Bears on this one. I do. I just do.
Freddie, I feel like me and you are going to be going with the Rams. What are your thoughts here?
Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going with experience. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Dustin brought up a question. Who's the most would you trust to put the ball in their hand? Well, that's Matthew Stafford. I mean, we've seen it in Detroit. We've seen it in the Rams in the Super Bowl. Do you remember? They had the little Kobe and Shaq moment going down the field where they was in the end zone. Passing the Cooper Cup. Oh, yeah, you remember that, Dustin. But hey, I'm going with the Rams, going with experience. I believe they know what it takes to win. They're ready for the game. Devontae Adams is going to play better. This defense is going to play much better. I'm going with experience. Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFC, still standing, and so I'm rolling with him.
So there we go. We are split on the Bears and the Rams, and then what I think is going to be the most boring game of the weekend, the Patriots and the Texans. If you love defense, this is your game. You were just going to get beaten over the head with a defensive game here. Blake, who do you got?
I'm going to have to go with the Texans on this one. I like D'Amico Ryan, and I love his defense that he's got going on. I think they'll end up getting two picks off of Drake May. That's a tough fact, but I think they're going to. I think Drake May is going to come out pretty strong, but I feel like, with this being his first playoff run. I don't think he's not. I don't think he's going to do bad as a QB. I think his decision making is what's going to cost him the game. Is he going to come down? Is it going to come down to the Caleb Williams, or is it going to come down to Matthew Stafford moments? That's the kind of quarterback we get to see with Drake May being, with his first real defense he gets to see in the playoffs to go to the AFC Championship game. And I think the Texans and DeMeco Ryan will come out on top with this game.
Freddie, who are you starting this game?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Mike Verbal is getting his guys ready. The Patriots, hey, I was sitting back like, are they for real? Are they for real? I believe they're for real, ladies and gentlemen. They are the second in the league in offense for a reason. They average about 28, 29 points a game. They allow the fourth fewest points on the game on the defensive side. So this is not just a one side of the football type team. They can play both. And one thing that we seen last week about when it comes to the Houston Texans is that if you put pressure on C.J. Stroud, and like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense have been a shut of themselves all year other than last week. They made C.J. Stroud, they had him scared. They had him tap dancing in the pocket. He was just tap dancing. He just, and ball gone. I mean, we've never seen it. But this New England Patriots team, hey, they're legit. Is the game in Foxborough or is it in Houston?
Foxborough.
Okay. It didn't matter even if it's on the road. If it's in the road, Patriots 8-0 on the road, so that they can win on the road and they can win at home. So yeah, this team is legit. They're both well. This team is well balanced on both sides of football. I'm going with the Patriots.
And Dustin, who are your thoughts?
They always say that defense wins championships, and those Texans have a damn defense. That defense in Houston is scary. And when you look at that defense, whether it's up front, the linebackers, or the secondary, they don't have a hole on the defensive side of the ball. I get Aaron Rodgers isn't what Aaron Rodgers was, but they made the most experienced quarterback in the playoffs look like a third-string quarterback yesterday. What do you think they're going to do to a rookie quarterback making his second playoff start, probably giving him looks that he hasn't seen? Drake May's going to turn it over, I think, 2 or 3 times. And we've seen that. Houston doesn't need to score offensively because their defense scored just as many points as the offense last night against the Steelers. If you can shorten that field and give Houston short fields, they'll capitalize on turnovers. I think Houston could actually win by double digits based on the turnovers they force.
We got Blake, we got Dustin, Freddie, and Mike hanging out with you here on the Lockdown Coverage Podcast. We are up against the clock. Remember, follow Lockdown Coverage Podcast. Follow the Prime Coverage Sports Network as well on all the social medias. On X, it's PCSN Media. On YouTube, where you're probably watching this right now, at Prime Coverage Sports Network. Prime Coverage Sports Network on Instagram and Facebook as well. Fellas, before we get on out of here, we got a lot of stuff we wanted to talk about. We didn't get to talk about coaches, but before we get on out of here, give everybody your social media handles. That way they can follow you and keep up with all the stuff that's going on in sports. Blake, I'll start with you.
What is it? What are we doing? Sorry.
Social media.
Dazed out.
Hey, you can find me over here at the Prime Coverage Sports Network. Hey, podcast dropping Friday. Freddie Facts. Hey, if you want to see the facts, come to Freddie Facts. But hey, I'm gonna talk about it real quick. Mike Tomlin, they said he stepped down today. He the former team, they stepped down. In my opinion, we know what that means. Hey, brother, you're a legendary coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You've been here forever. We did go ahead and just step down, man. We can go in a different direction. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was time. It was time. When you go 7-8 years or 9 years without winning the playoffs, a change have to come down. So it was a fair call.
All right. With that, I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, the Lockdown Coverage Podcast on the Prime Sports Coverage Network. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting the show. This is the first one, the first of many. We got a lot coming down. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you all next week.